Good morning and thank you for your company this Friday. This is your news today, streaming on 9Now and on YouTube. Here are the stories making headlines today. Andrew arrested this morning. Complete reaction, including how the White House is responding. Plus, a plume of smoke rises 2,000 metres after a volcano erupts in the Philippines. And an Aussie pub owner escapes injury after falling through a roof.
First, that historic news, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is under arrest over his links to Giuffre Epstein, the former prince and younger brother to King Charles, right now answering questions on suspected misconduct in public office. Let's go live to Josh Babbis in Sandringham. Josh, he was taken into custody there on the morning of his 66th birthday.
Carl, it was indeed on his birthday that officers in unmarked police cars arrived here at the private Sandringham estate that's owned by the King, where the former prince had been staying. They searched this property as well as others further south in Berkshire. Then word came through that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor had been arrested and police had begun an investigation into misconduct in public office. We don't know where Andrew has been speaking to investigators, but one former police chief has given us an idea about what might be going on behind the scenes.
I think we're some way away from him being charged. I think I would expect the next stage would be he'd be released after being questioned. He'll be on some kind of police bail. They'll assess all the information they've got, and then he'll probably be required to come in.
This all comes after revelations from the Epstein files that Andrew was emailing Giuffre Epstein information about trade and investments in the 2010s. Now, this is incredible to think that the release of millions of documents in the US could have such ramifications here across the Atlantic.
Josh, thank you.
Well, the historic arrest is making waves across the world this morning, not least at the White House. Hannah Sinclair joins us there now from Washington, D.C. Hannah, the family of prominent Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre has also responded.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. The family says Andrew was never a prince and that for survivors everywhere, Virginia Giuffre did this for them. There has been no word yet, though, from Donald Trump. US lawmakers saying that the UK is holding its powerful and privileged to account, and they should do the same here in the US. Giuffre Epstein survivors have been frustrated by a lack of police action here in the US against prominent figures named in the files. Virginia Giuffre sadly has not lived to see this day. She died by suicide last year after repeatedly claiming that she was forced to have sex with Andrew underage, an allegation he has always denied. Here is how her family reacted to the news.
We're very hopeful that this is the start of the domino effect. This is where the house of cards starts falling. And, kudos to the UK for taking the first step, for saying, you know what, we are going to arrest somebody who is held to one of the highest esteems out there.
There has repeatedly been calls for Andrew to testify before US Congress, and there is now more pressure for him to do that, Sarah.
Yeah, it's mounting, isn't it? Thank you, Hannah.
A volcano has erupted in the central Philippines, shooting a huge plume of ash 2,000 metres into the air. The eruption of Mount Kanlaon lasted 2 minutes based on the seismic record. It is currently at a moderate level of unrest. It's situated in the Pacific Ring of Fire, where volcanic activity and earthquakes are common. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has driven a nuclear-capable rocket launcher vehicle during a military showcase in the nation's capital. The state media Vision showed 50 of the vehicles lined up in a square ahead of the party Congress ceremony. The showcase comes as the leader deepens ties with Russia, including military aid.
An Australian delegate has reportedly told ISIS brides and their children they would be likely returning home. Let's go live to Conor McGovern at Parliament House. Conor, good morning to you. Are they any closer to leaving Syria?
Well, not at the moment, Carl. They've got passports, so our government's watching to see if the group gets out. The ISIS brides say plans to flee have been in the works for weeks, claiming they were informed in January they'd likely be returning to Australia. That's according to News Corp. Now, last night we revealed a Sydney maths teacher is crucial to this controversial cohort. Mohammed Zahab, the notorious IS recruiter, died in 2018, but he's related or connected to 1/3 of the women and children in this group. Carl, the Prime Minister, he's been clear we won't help repatriate them.
Conor, thank you.
Well, the man accused of murdering camper Carol Clay in Victoria's High Country has made a bid for bail after the conviction was quashed. Let's go live to Kiara Parker in Melbourne. Kiara, a retrial date is yet to be set.
That's right, a new date for the retrial is yet to be set. As a fresh murder trial looms, Greg Lynn has filed documents with the Supreme Court arguing he should be released on bail and back into the community. The 59-year-old was acquitted of murdering Russell Hill, but he was found guilty of murdering Carol Clay and sentenced to 32 years in jail. But the Court of Appeal ruled his conviction should be set aside due to a number of irregularities at trial. Greg Lynn has always maintained his innocence. He claims the deaths of Carol Clay and Russell Hill during a campsite struggle in the Wanagata Valley in 2020 were accidental. Sarah?
Kiara, thank you. A teen accused of stealing a car with a dog inside has been arrested in the middle of a busy Gold Coast intersection. The 17-year-old dropped to the ground on this Palm Beach road hours after he allegedly took a Mercedes for a joyride. The owner's dachshund was inside the vehicle at the time and has since been returned home.
Adelaide will host a world-first street circuit MotoGP from 2027 after securing a 6-year deal with the South Australian government, ending Victoria's long-running hold on the event. It's prompted frustration from business owners on Phillip Island.
It's going to be hard to say goodbye. Very, very, very hard.
It follows months of speculation that negotiations over a contract extension for Phillip Island had stalled. A Melbourne pub owner says he has no idea why a man climbed onto the roof of his hotel before falling through a skylight. Somehow the patron managed to walk away without any injuries. The owner says the man was very apologetic, and it's a reminder that nothing good happens after midnight. Well, they are an Aussie staple, and Hollywood star Jacob Elordi couldn't resist buying a pair from a local newsagent, sending a small town into a whirlwind. Live to Mia Glover on the Gold Coast. Mia, everyone's in a flap over flip-flops.
Yeah, absolutely, Jane. Good morning again to you. This was in the northern New South Wales town of Mullumbimby, the local news agency there. It's been there for absolutely so many years, and it's very famous right across the country. But one Jacob Elordi, yes, the Hubba Hubba hunk who's in Wuthering Heights, that new movie with Margot Robbie. He is an Aussie, he's 28 years old. Well, he stumbled in to the news agency looking for a pair of thongs, a pair of pluggers. He asked the girls where they were, they struck up a conversation with him, and then he managed to pose for some photos with them. He's in his daggy best though, may I say. The t-shirt, the boardies, hasn't really come from a red carpet, has he? He was trying to fly under the radar, that is for sure, Jane. He was also spotted at the Middle Pub on the veranda, having a bit of a bite to eat in Mullum as well, and then also doing trivia at another pub called the Eltham just down the road.
Fabulous, Mia. The biggest little town in Australia. It attracts all the big stars.
Trivia must be fun in Mullum.
It must be.
Long night.
We'll have to try it.